Rev it up and welcome to Women's Month here on Cars Yeah, show number 1761. March is Women's History Month, and March 8th is International Women's Day. Women play an important part in automotive history and car culture. Did you know the first journey taken in an automobile was by a woman? That's right, Bertha Benz was an automotive pioneer and an inventor. She was the business partner and wife of automobile inventor Carl Benz, and on August 5th, 1888, she was the first person to drive an automobile over a long distance, field testing their patented Motorwagen. She invented brake linings and solved several practical issues, including refueling along the journey, a difficult task given there were no gas stations back then. Bertha brought the Benz patented Motorwagen worldwide attention and got the company its first sale.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, inspiring automotive enthusiasts, and welcome to Cars Yeah. Today I'm in Vernon, Missouri with a very special guest by the name of Rachel Meyer. Rachel, welcome to Cars Yeah. Are you buckled up and ready for a fun ride?
Yes, I am.
You're always buckled up and ready for a fun ride. You've been doing this for a long time for a young woman. Before I give you a proper introduction, though, what's one little thing that most people don't know about you, Rachel?
Well, if you know my sister, you know that she broke the world record this year in the top Alcohol Dragster class. And some people might not know that I'm actually faster than she is. So she might hold the ET record, but I hold the mile-an-hour record over her.
Well, there you go. So nothing wrong with sibling rivalry, which is a very common thing, but in your family, it's a very serious thing. I'll remind my regular listeners that Rachel's sister, Megan, was guest number 1593 back in July of 2020. If you missed my talk with her, you need to go back and listen. She moves very fast, but we've got a faster one in the family here, so I'm very excited about that. Let me give you a proper introduction. We're going to dive into this very unique life that you've chosen. Rachel Meyer started racing with her sister Megan, as we mentioned, when she was just 8 years old. She raced Jr Dragsters for about 10 years and then moved up into the Super Comp Dragster and eventually the top Alcohol Dragster ranks. Being a great student in math, she earned her BS in Mechanical Engineering and Technology from Pittsburgh State University in 2017 and started working as a machine designer engineer while racing part-time. Today, Rachel is a product developer in addition to racing dragsters. She clinched her first championship win in 2020 as the NHRA Central Regional Championship. Along with working full-time this year, Rachel will also race this year in the top Alcohol Dragster class. And guess what? She's planning a wedding on top of it all. That seems to be a trend in your family. You ladies like to race and get married. You like to juggle a lot of things, don't you?
Yeah, we tend to.
Just overachievers, we'll call that, but you're doing great. We'll be back in a minute to talk more with Rachel, but first a word from our valued sponsors. Sit tight, keep the seatbelts on. We are moving fast today with Rachel Meyer. Did you know Covercraft offers you much more than just car covers? They make quality protection for the inside of your vehicle as well. Their plush, custom-fit floor mats turn any ride into something special. Or choose Premier Berber custom floor mats. They're a favorite of mine. Covercraft floor mats are quality made and provide your ride with the ultimate protection from moisture, dirt, mud, snow, and slush. Don't forget your vehicle's trunk area too. Their Carhartt custom cargo liners not only look great, but keep your rear cargo area and seats protected. Custom fit trunk liners for sedans, coupes, and SUVs are perfect to protect the factory carpets from all those things that can stain and damage the carpets. All your options are quality made, easy to clean, secure to the floor, and look oh so good. Check out covercraft.com for a variety of styles, colors, and options for your special vehicles. And I've got a very special deal from Cars Yeah. Use the code YEAH21, YEAH21 at covercraft.com and you'll get 10% off your Covercraft order. That's right, 10% off. Just use the code YEAH21 at checkout. Covercraft, protecting the things that move you. American Collectors Insurance. That's who now protects my Porsche Turbo, the one I call my Orange Crush. They've been protecting vehicles since 1976. With all the time, effort, and money you've put into your classic vehicles, do you know how much you would receive if yours was stolen, damaged, or totaled in an accident or a fire? Your regular auto insurance carriers won't tell you until after the claim, and more than likely, you'll be in for a rude awakening. With an agreed value policy from American Collectors Insurance, you'll be paid your vehicle's full agreed value. No surprises. So don't just hope for a fair claim settlement. Be certain and know exactly what you'll get with an agreed value policy. I shopped around and decided to protect my car with American Collectors Insurance. Give them a call today for a quote at 866-ACI. Yeah, that's 866-224-9324 and protect the ones you love. Tell them Mark Green at Cars Yeah sent you. That's American Collectors Insurance. Classic car insurance designed by collectors for collectors, folks just like you and me. All right, we're back. So let's take a little bit deeper dive into the corner. Now, there's no corners on the drag strip, so maybe go a little faster down the strip here. I'd love for you to share a little bit more about your career, which is unique for women. You're in the engineering industry, and I know there's a lot more women in that industry today, but we'd like to have you share that a little bit, but also about your choice to go into drag racing. So grab the wheel, Rachel.
Okay, so I graduated college about 4 years ago with my mechanical engineering technology degree, and for about 3 years I was a machine design engineer, which was a fun job, but just got too much to handle. And then I switched to a new product engineer now, and I actually design playground equipment now, which
really
some people might not think really needs much engineering, but it's pretty fun to do.
Well, you know, you think about it, I think about playground equipment when I was a little kid. I'm a lot older than you, and how dangerous it was. And, you know, well, it really was. You think of some of the stuff they had back then. I mean, kids were falling off monkey bars, and the spinning thing you'd get on and try to fling the kids off by spinning it super fast. So there's a lot more to it than one would think, but that's kind of fun. And is there anything about that relates to your racing at all?
Not really.
Not really.
It's just a fun job.
Yeah.
And it's nice because my fiance has 2 kids, so we're allowed to do play tests, and they can come in and try out the new playground equipment, so they love it too.
So dare I say they're your crash test dummies?
Yeah, kind of.
Kinda, yeah. Well, that sounds like fun. Well, let's take a little bit of a deeper dive into this racing career. You've chosen to follow in your sister's footsteps, if you will, and as we heard, go a little bit faster. Drag racing. I mean, it's an interesting thing for a young person to do, much less a young woman or a young girl when you started when you were 8 years old. So what made you think, you know what, I think I'm going to do that?
Well, my dad put us in the seat when we were 8 years old, and Megan was 10, and we both just fell in love with it since then. And we grew up at the tracks before we were even old enough to start driving.
Sure.
So it's just been fun watching my dad race top alcohol dragsters throughout the years, and now it's our turn to race them. And it's funny because we're racing now some of the people who we grew up watching, or some of their kids too, so it's pretty awesome. But yeah, this year I'm going to be the new full-time driver of the NTK Sensor Specialist Top Alcohol Dragster, which is the sister company of NGK.
Yeah.
And this will be my first year racing full-time, so I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I think so. You're going to have a full calendar with a full-time job, and then probably taking off on Fridays to go to the tracks for the weekend. Now, with the pandemic that affected us all and is still affecting us all, do you see some breaks happening and being able to race more of a normal season this year?
I'm hoping so. So far, they've only canceled one race, so hopefully that's all that gets canceled.
Yeah.
I guess it just depends on each state and how their guidelines change.
Yeah, and how they're handling it. One of the things I think about drag racing is how much time do you get to practice? Because you think of road racers, oval track racers, NASCAR racers. As we're recording this, the weekend had the big Daytona 500. What an ending. Holy cow. The terrible crash at the end there. I'm glad everybody seemed to be okay. But how do you practice drag racing?
Well, you can go run out the track and make test laps. As far as practicing leaving the tree, they have like a little portable, they call it a porta tree, that you can practice with at home. But other than that, yeah, you just have to go to the track and rent it out on a Friday night or something and make some test laps.
Wow. A porta tree. Interesting. That sounds like fun. Well, Rachel, one of the things I like to ask my guests is to share your driving inspiration, a key mentor who's helped you to become successful. Now, obviously, having a father who's a top fuel drag racer and a sister who's done this as well. Is there a very influential person in your life that has helped guide you and given you some ideas on how to pursue your career and be successful?
Well, like you mentioned, my dad and my sister are probably my two biggest inspirations or mentors, but there are a few other women in the racing class that I look up to, like Ashley Force. She used to race against my dad when we were younger, and she'd always let us come hang out at her pits, and I always thought it was awesome how well she did, and then she moved up to top fuel funny car, and just the way she carried herself. And same with Erica Enders. Those two are probably my biggest idols that I look up to.
Well, when you think about these people in your life, what are some of the lessons that they've taught you that you've applied to your life in racing?
Probably just don't give up.
Well, I have had so many racers on this show. Don't give up, never quit, never ever give up. I hear that from every single racer because racing is just so volatile. One weekend you're a star, the next weekend you're not. Challenges, all this work and preparation, you get to the track and something breaks and you can't make a run. So yeah, I mean, you got to be ready for that kind of thing. How would you advise other women, younger women or not so young women who want to go into not only the career of drag racing, but also the career of being an engineer?
Again, don't give up. Like, people will probably down on you or, I don't know, not give you the respect you deserve, make you feel like you have to earn it from them, but just never give up. If it's something you truly want, you just have to keep fighting for it. And I've also learned that it's okay to rely on other people to help you out too. I rely heavily on my family and my sister and my fiance to help me and keep me motivated, keep me going when I'm feeling down. So don't be too stubborn about that. Right.
Yeah. Reach out to others. I always say we are the culmination of the 5 people we surround ourselves with most. And boy, is that true. You stick with winners, stick with people who are even better than you in many capacities, and they'll push you and drive you that way. What has you most excited today about this year's racing schedule and drag racing? What are you really fired up about when it comes to that?
Honestly, I'm just really happy to go racing full time. I did it when I was younger. I would be on the road with my dad a lot, and I always enjoyed that. And I also work on the cars too whenever I drive. I'm always my own clutch person. And when my dad used to drive, I used to work on his car too. And I really enjoyed getting to go travel the states and go to all these different tracks. And the last 4 or 5 years, I haven't been able to travel as much.
Right.
And I feel like I've missed out on a lot of time with my family. So I'm just really excited to be back out there with them. Go to a few tracks that I've never been to and have fun.
When you think about drag racing and this path you've chosen, what's the most favorite part of it for you? Because having interviewed so many race car drivers, one of the other things they've said, along with never ever give up, is preparation is so key. You really win the race before you even get to the track. What are some of the favorite things about racing that when you get there, before you get there, when you're there, after you're leaving, are there some things that really stand out that just make you smile, feel great?
Honestly, one of my favorite parts is when the night's over, the fact that a lot of us in our class feel like one big family. We can go to each other's pits, hang out, have a good time. Even if we race each other that day, we don't hold grudges against each other. We really are one big family out there doing what we love. And I enjoy being around everyone in our class.
Sounds like it. Absolutely spectacular. Let's take a short break and thank our sponsors. We come back. I'm going to ask you the challenge question, something that really has set you back or been a good challenge for you and what you learned from that. So sit tight. We'll be right back. Today's vehicles are essentially computers on wheels, and it takes more than a wrench and oil to keep them humming. That's why Cars Yeah supports TechForce Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to driving tomorrow's workforce of skilled technicians forward. Techs keep our cars, trucks, airplanes, and fleets rolling. Yet there's a massive tech shortage because many young people don't know it's no longer a blue-collar job. Today, it's a new-collar career. It involves computers, technology. It's in high demand. You get paid really well, and you can live and work anywhere in the country. I know you're passionate about cars, trucks, and motorcycles, and you can help pass that passion on to the next generation of techs so our rides keep rolling down the road. Visit techforce.org today and learn how. Crash jewelry is handmade from the metal of luxury cars while preserving the original factory paint. Founder Christy Shimke came up with the idea when she moved her jewelry studio into her husband's Los Angeles auto body shop. After watching beautiful Porsche ultraviolet fenders and Ferrari Rosso Corsa hoods head to the scrapyard, she developed her own unique upcycling process of cutting, bending, and sanding the metal into unique, wearable pieces of beautiful automotive art. For Women's History Month here on Cars Yeah!, Crash Jewelry is giving away a special Ferrari Art Deco cuff. The cuff includes an empowering message engraved inside. Enter to win today by subscribing at crashjewelry.com. Plus, Christy is offering Cars Yeah! Listeners 10% off in March when you use the code CARSYEAH at checkout. That's crashjewelry.com and use the code CARSYEAH today. And don't forget to follow Christy on Instagram at Crash Jewelry. Rachel, we're back. I'd love for you to share what's been one of the biggest obstacles that you've had to overcome so far when it comes to your racing career?
So whenever I was graduating college, my dad actually gave me the option to either take a year off and go race full time or go start a career. And I chose to start a career because I wanted to be independent and not feel like I need to rely on my parents for everything. Right. And when I did that, I actually moved away from them. So I live about almost 3 hours away from them. Mm-hmm. So that restricted me on how much I could race, which sucked, or like how much I could see my family. But I really think it was a good choice for me because I met my fiance. I still am able to race every weekend because I also bracket race locally, and so does he. And we're about an hour from 2 different tracks. And then on the other weekends, I get to go race the alcohol car. And I'm just happy that this year is finally my year to race full time and that I finally have a job that's going to work with me on my schedule and the time I need off. That was probably my biggest challenge.
I think that's a really smart thing that you did to get some independence and feel like, can I do this on my own? I mean, it's so important for young people to do that and not feel like they're attached at the hip to their parents once they become young adults. Are there any regrets or anything in that process you would have done maybe a little differently?
Not really. I'm pretty happy with all my choices.
Awesome. That's great. I'm happy to hear that. When you think about a bucket list of goals, which racers always have, because one thing I know about racers is once they finish a race, they're looking ahead. They never look back unless they want to learn a lesson or two they might have done differently. What are the things that you still want to accomplish in your life? Not only business related. Now, you're a young person, so you've got a long, long life ahead of you. But in your business, your career in engineering, design, but also in your racing career, do you have some maybe a few bucket list items that are targets for you?
Yes, I do. So I've never actually won a national event. I've won a bunch of regional events, so that's one thing on my bucket list. It would be pretty cool also to win the world championship, and I also wouldn't mind racing in other classes if I got the opportunity.
Oh, cool.
Those are some of my big bucket list items.
Yeah. Now there's a quote. It'd be pretty cool to win a world championship. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I think so. That'd be pretty fun. What are some of the positive ways that you like to help other people in the automotive world? Maybe it's young girls. Maybe it's just other people want to get into racing.
Well, I just try to carry myself well, and I hope that other girls look up to me and realize that they can do it too. They can drive a car. They can work on the cars. They can go to school for engineering. They can carry themselves throughout life pretty good if they work hard. So I just try and be a good mentor.
What's your greatest high point so far in this journey in racing and in your business world?
Well, I would have to say winning the regional championship this year was probably my highest point, especially because me and my sister are big rivals, And even though she won the world championship, I still beat her at the regional level. So I felt pretty good.
Yeah, no kidding. Now, I understand that your sister, she's not going to be racing anymore, and she's ventured into a business career in marketing, social media, helping people promote themselves. Is that right?
Yes.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I see her out there on social media and Facebook that she's pushing that new career path of hers. She seemed to has done a good job. Is she helping you with some of that?
Yes, I actually took one of her classes recently to help learn how to market myself, and she does help me out with that.
Great. She didn't charge you too much?
No.
Well, that's nice of her. There you go. Until you start beating all those times, then she's going to go, I'm going to have to start charging you for this. You're getting a little bit too good on me here. So that's very, very cool. This is a bit of an interesting part of our talk, and that is what I like to call it the ultimate drive. If I could arrange for you to take a drive with anyone, now this could be a road trip, could be a trip on the dragster. I guess you don't really, well, there are some double-seater dragsters that I've seen people ride in, but let's say a road course or something. Anybody in the automotive industry that you'd like to jump into a car with. Now, this could be somebody who's living or someone who's passed, perhaps, maybe an ex-famous racer. Who would that person be? And more importantly, what would the automobile be that you two would be driving in?
Okay, the person I would want to ride with would be Erica Enders, and I would want to ride in her Pro Mod, which they aren't technically two-seaters, but it would still be pretty awesome. There's not very many people who can handle driving Pro Mods, and I've even asked my dad if I could drive one because I had the opportunity, and he told me he didn't think I was ready for it. Because driving a fast door car like that is a lot different than a dragster. But I think it would be pretty awesome to take a ride down the strip with her.
Now, tell our listeners who may not understand Pro Mod, what exactly type of vehicle is that?
It is what we call a door car. So it kind of looks like a sports car. They're just really aerodynamic and light, and they're really easy to crash if you lose control of them or if they get a little bit of air underneath them because they sit so low to the ground and they're so aerodynamic.
They're like a wing, basically, going down the track.
Yeah.
Now, when you think about that person you've chosen, why that person?
Well, I just look up to her a lot. She's won 4 championships in that class. She carries herself well. She's able to do it with an awesome team, and I just aspire to be like her one day, honestly.
If you could sit down with her and have a drink or a meal, what would be a question or two you would ask her?
Probably how she got to where she is today.
Yeah, that's a big question. Yeah. How on earth have you pulled this off? Well, I think she'd have a lot of interesting things to share. Now, I always, with this new question here with Women's Month, I also like to ask, would you be driving? Now, you said your dad thought maybe you weren't quite ready, but if she tossed you the keys, I know there's no keys to these cars, but if she said, hey, why don't you take it down the strip, would you do it?
Yeah, I would.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I always ask my guests about a book that they've read, something that has taught them well that they'd like to share with others. Is there a great book you'd like to share today?
I don't really read much, but my sister did give me this book that I am starting to read, and it's called You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. And it's to help people who want to improve, but keep getting down every time I try and do it. So she said it was a really good book to read, and she gave it to me.
A motivational book. Yeah, that book's been recommended here. I've not read it, but I should get my hands on a copy of it. Yeah, to kind of help remind you that, you can do what you want to do. Is that the premise?
Yes. Yeah, basically.
Cool. Well, I'll make sure I put a link to this book on Rachel's show notes page so all of you can get your hands on this and be a badass. Like Rachel. Somehow I don't picture you as a badass, but I think what we know what we mean by that is just somebody that's a go-getter, an achiever, and a winner just like you. So I think that's cool. We'll take one more short break for our sponsors. We come back. I've got some parting thoughts, so sit tight. I've discovered Linkage. It's a new quarterly publication and website that covers the automotive market, driving, restoring, collecting, and discovering your passion for motor vehicles. Linkage is about experiences, opinions, and values. Linkage is an actual informed, reasoned opinion based on first-hand experiences. A talented linkage team covers the automotive world. The people who share your passion and mine, smart, considered, rational, and experienced opinions. Ones you can learn from and grow. That includes our passion that drives auctions and the collector car market. So come with me and join us on this journey. Join Linkage. Linkage, geared for the automotive life. Subscribe today at linkagemag.com. All right, Rachel, we are back, and I really appreciate you taking some time to spend with us today. I know your schedule is so crazy, and you're so busy, and I want to wish you just the most successes here. Before I let you go and make another run down that drag strip, what's one little parting piece of guidance or suggestion you might offer people before you rip off down the drag strip one more time?
I would just say that if you want something, work hard for it. Don't give up on it. You need to learn to balance your life so you don't feel overwhelmed or stressed, which is what I'm trying to do right now with working full time, racing full time, planning a wedding, taking care of kids. It gets to be a lot, but you really want it, you got to work hard for it. Yeah.
Well, that brings up a great another question for me here. How do you balance your life? Is there a way that you work through the day? Are you a person that creates lists, or do you have a goals list? You've got a lot on your plate for a young person. You're getting married to a gentleman who already has 2 kids. You've got an instant family coming. You're looking ahead towards the racing this year. You've got this career. Holy cow, you got a lot of balls you're juggling in here. What's a tip you might offer somebody out there that feels a bit of overwhelm?
I do make a lot of lists, and just try and make it for what you want to accomplish that day. Try not to put too much on there. Just make it things that you think you can actually accomplish throughout the day. That works for me.
Lists are a great way to get through that day. Yeah, even if you tackle a couple of them, you get them done, you feel like you've achieved something. Very cool. What are some of the ways people can keep up with you and follow you in your business and your career and your racing?
On Facebook, you can follow me on Rachel Meyer Racing, and Instagram is the same, Rachel Meyer Racing. And I have a LinkedIn also if anyone follows or if anyone uses LinkedIn, and it's just Rachel Meyer.
I'll tell you, I think LinkedIn is one of the most valuable tools for any business person in any business to have. I find so many great guests through LinkedIn. I find myself migrating there away from some of the social media these days and using it. They've really changed it, made it a lot more dynamic. It's a lot more like Facebook now, but it tends to be more focused on business. So I'll make sure I put links to all of these connections so you can try to keep up with Rachel Meyer and her racing career this year. Everything will be on her show notes page on the Cars Yeah website under Rachel Meyer. And again, if you missed my talk with her sister Megan, you can go back and find that on the Cars Yeah website, along with over 1,750 inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Rachel, thank you for being so generous today and taking a little time with us to share your story and your life. We wish you the best success in racing, safety, health, all of those things as you progress in your life and the upcoming wedding. Congratulations on that as well. Until you and I talk again, I'll see you down the road.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Did you know that Cars Yeah is in the top 1% of all podcasts based on listenership, according to Libsyn, the premier RSS feed for podcasts in the United States? That's right. And Cars Yeah is the only 5-day-a-week automotive-focused podcast for you to get your message into the ears of thousands of listeners daily from all over the world. Plus, DuPont Registry recommended Cars Yeah is one of their top 10 car podcasts for you to enjoy. Cars Yeah has experienced tremendous growth, plus your ads are evergreen, meaning they never go away. And more listeners find Cars Yeah every day for their daily dose of automotive inspiration. Do you want to expose your brand to a highly targeted list of automotive enthusiasts in a very unique and very personal way? Well, I can help you. Contact me, Mark Green, at mark@carsyeah.com or through the website at carsyeah.com today to learn more.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah!